My love of reading was pure imagination. The mystery, the clues, the turning of pages, wanting to know more. Was the ending the same as what I was thinking or hoping? However, school ruined reading. When I was little, my mother would read to me every night before bed and during the day. She would read books like Goodnight Moon, Green Eggs and Ham, and The Tale of Peter Rabbit to me in our small living room with our wooden walls, ancient green furniture, and the summer breeze blowing through the windows. At the time, I could not understand why she was making these weird sounds I had never heard before, but later on I realized these sounds were words. My mom continued to read to me every night until I began to form the words on the pages and read for myself. Once I could read, the words on the pages would jump out and speak to me as if I had known them all my life. At this point, I realized my mother had introduced me to my best friends, books and words. I began to beg my mother to go to the library. This place has everything, I would say to myself as I walked into what seemed like a museum, with works of art scattered about like splatter paint on a canvas. With fiction on one side, magazines on the other, and giant nonfiction books in the back in neat rows perfectly in order by author. Then there was stories. Every Tuesday morning we would walk into that small conference room with one table set up on the far wall with puppets for the books we were going to read that day. Miss Sarita would act out the book and make it come alive. My mother took me to the library every week to get a new book and go to story time until I was in 3rd grade. Once I got to the 3rd grade, school began to consume my life with homework, math, and projects. We began to go to the library only when I asked. I got back into reading when I entered Barry Shoals, and reading a book of our choice was required. We only needed to read, no writing or quizzes. I started to love reading again until 6th grade. In 6th grade, I still had to read a book of my choice for homework, but this time I was forced to write about what I had read for a grade. And this was the beginning of the end for my love for books and reading. Once I had to reflect on what I read, I didn't want to read anymore. I needed to start using proper grammar and sentence structure. I had to start remembering what I had read and write my thoughts about books. Reading just wasn't fun anymore. Miss Bruce, with her moose obsession and her brown hair cut into a bob style, would make us write a summary for every book we decided to read. Each book summary had to be 1 page long, use proper grammar, and not give away too many details. This was the hardest part about reading. It wasn't for fun anymore, it was for a grade. I continuously asked why we had to do these stupid assignments, and Miss Bruce would say, "We do this to prepare you for middle and high school." I knew I did not want to be a writer, teacher, or anything that had to do with writing or reading. I would make B's and C's on my book writings, and I just knew that writing about what I read was not my thing. Each time I would reflect on my reading and make below an A, I felt like a failure. I understood what I read, I just could not put it on paper or in words. I felt like giving up on reading since I would always have to write about it. 7th grade confirmed my worst nightmare. I hated reading. I loved reading even more because I was forced to read books that I did not choose to read, like Huckleberry Finn. Worst of all, I had to pay close attention to each word and phrase of these horrible books so I could take a test on them. Each year after 7th grade, it was the same thing over and over again. Read a book I didn't want to, write about it, and take a test on what I had read. School ruined reading, my childhood love. My struggles came with discussions of books. I know plants go into dormancy, losing all their leaves and turning brown with age, but grow again. I know deep in my heart the seed for reading will be revived and my passion for books will blossom again.